and I'm a student here at Georgetown College. You must have seen me on campus zipping about in my super red handy-dandy power chair, which happens to be parked right at the end of the auditorium. Yes, I call it a power chair. I don't call it a motorized wheelchair. I call it a power chair because it empowers me. And I mean this literally. This is not one of Amir Hussein's bad puns, if you happen to know him. And he happens to be in Brazil right now, so I'm kind of filling in for him. I digress. When people see me these days, they ask me, why would you shave your hair off in the winter? I go like, maybe my chemo took the end of No Shave November too literally. I don't know. And then there are others who often mistake me for a senior. And that's actually understandable, because what I have been through was a metamorphosis towards maturity. Perhaps a rite of passage. I am a paradox because I have graduated as a freshman with a diploma that attests the resilience of human beings in times of horrible, horrible adversity. Yes, I am a graduate freshman. I would have been a sophomore, but I took a gap year owing to a disease, an illness whose awareness and eventual eradication are why we have gathered here tonight. Being a cancer survivor is not just about an event that happens in a person's life. It becomes the person's identity. My story goes something like this. My family and I migrated from Pakistan to Michigan in August 2010. And just 6 months after that, in February, while I was a senior in high school, I was diagnosed with T-cell ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. So Devin and I were ALL buddies. I had the usual symptoms: generalized weakness, breathlessness, fatigue, flu-like symptoms. I did not know what was going on inside my body. I started dozing off in classes, and that is just not me. Ask anyone. And I could not do my homework. I would tell my mom that I'd be working all night, and she shouldn't come and disturb me. But she would come 5 minutes after that just to check up on me, and I would be asleep on the couch. I used to sleep on the bus, in the class, everywhere. And then I told my mom one day that I felt like no oxygen was being delivered to my brain. And then my uncle, who happens to be my primary care physician, he saw that I was getting really pale, so he asked me to come into his ER. And he did a brain scan and a CBC, a complete blood count. And after he came back, when the results came in, he said, there's a good news and there's a bad news. The good news is that the brain scans look normal, and the bad news is that your white blood count is at 250,000, and the normal one is between 6,000 and 10. So, and that's suggestive of a certain type of leukemia. That visit to the ER was on February 26th, 2011. 16 days from now, I will be a 2-year leukemia survivor, inshallah. I read my Georgetown acceptance letter in that hospital bed, in which I spent 3 months owing to side effects from chemo. Fungal pneumonia, in which the mortality rate is at least 90%. Septic shock, pseudomonas sepsis. C. difficile colitis, which has given me an inflammatory bowel syndrome, TMI. Clinical depression, you name it. I guess I'm pretty prepared for medical school. I don't think I need to do pre-med at Georgetown. But I have the privilege of speaking right here tonight at my dream school, alhamdulillah. When I was diagnosed, perhaps the strongest emotion that I felt was anger. The question many people ask in these circumstances is, why me? But I channeled my emotions into art to deal with my experiences. I transcribed my feelings into poems. Writing became my laxative to anger. My pain became my muse. And just recently, one of my poems, Carcinogenesis, was published. But there are other things that help me deal with the why me question. Luck. When I finally came to Georgetown, I found out that the doctor at Lombardi who would be treating me is actually the chief of the pediatric hematology oncology clinic, happens to be a Pakistani, and she's a family friend of mine, Dr. Aziza Shah. And just that, I felt that there is some kind of guiding power with me that helped me beat cancer. Lombardi, the Academic Resource Center, my family who moved all the way from Michigan to DC just for me, my brother who stays in my dorm as my primary care provider, my friends back in Michigan, in Pakistan, over here at Georgetown. All of these people have helped me so much. I feel that while life, God, destiny, whatever you wish to call it, has given me an enormous test, it has also given me the resources and support to accomplish my ambitions. I have learned to look at silver linings. I am more susceptible to infection than any other person on this campus. But who else can brag about having a single room with a private bath on New South 4? No one. And I recently got diagnosed with a side effect of chemo called avascular necrosis, and I have to use the power chair because of that. I cannot walk long distances. But I get to climb the hilltop with only a finger, while the rest of you poor souls have to trek that. I'm not even going to go there. But yeah. While I fight this disease, I paradoxically accept it as part of my identity. It is what makes me who I am. If I can simultaneously beat it and positively embrace the vicissitudes that have come with it, I can beat anything. Let's honor all those who are fighting this malady, who have succumbed to it, and whose loved ones have been affected by it. Let's honor caregivers, physicians, and scientists who are striving so hard for a cure. Let's beat cancer together. Let's relay for life.